evening, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to Lincolnshire. And my name is Alex, if you've not been before. And I genuinely talk about weight loss and everything around it. So in the last 3 years, I have lost 5 stone with Slim and Weld and very strong will and extreme determination and a lot of good luck, or I don't know, miraculous stuff, because I genuinely thought that I will never lose weight ever. And this is kind of what I want to talk about to you. So I've been thinking about how I felt a few years ago and about every single time that I attempted to lose weight, and how many times I've tried. Because I think I've been trying to lose weight since I was, 18. Because this is the time when I've really started putting on weight and when my bad habits started accumulating, basically when I became an adult, when the whole world of takeaways and the fact that you can decide what you're gonna eat without your parents, obviously. They have your own money and no one is there to tell you otherwise, yeah? So that was the biggest thing for me. When I was 18 and a half, I moved to UK from Poland, and I remember my first few months in the UK. I have never seen that many restaurants, that many takeaways near my house, on the way to work. I've never been exposed to such stuff. My nearest McDonald's was about 15 miles away, and to be fair, McDonald's wasn't something that me and my family would have on a daily basis. They kind of do now. It's a lot more common right now within my family than it was before. But McDonald's was something that we would probably have if we were going, I don't know, on the way on a holiday or something like that, road trip, whatever you do. Or maybe if we went on a school trip, stuff like this. And guess what? I never used to have anything like a burger in McDonald's. So as a child, I've not had a single Big Mac, I don't know, chicken nuggets, Mac chicken or whatever it was called and it is called now. I used to just have a McFlurry. That was the only thing in McDonald's that I ever used to eat. And I remember I used to always get a Happy Meal and give it to other kids or my family because I wanted a toy. Particularly my favorite ever that I remember toy was a Snoopy, the Snoopy dog. So you used to get like little part in every Happy Meal, and then you would collect it to make a big Snoopy, the dog. So that's my kind of memory from that. Apart from that, in my town, there used to be a pizza place and one restaurant. Now it's gone a bit bigger. Now there's like few kebabs, few pizza places, stuff like this, and you can genuinely order it. There's nothing like that when I was growing up. It was all about homemade food, unprocessed, and I pretty much used to have dessert every day from what I remember. And we used to have fried food, and I wasn't fat, neither anyone around me. Or maybe that's the wrong word to use. No one was really overweight, yeah? I don't know, maybe chubby, but there wasn't like any health issues in terms of weight in my family, even though we all love food. But yeah, homemade. So yeah, my grandma, my mom, like someone would have made a homemade cake pretty much every day. yeah, I used to have sweets as well, like chocolate bars and things like this, but that wasn't like, it wasn't like available every day to me. It wasn't like, I don't know, there wasn't anything like a treat basket apart from Sundays. Sundays my grandma used to have like literally a pyramid made out of picnic bars, and she used to invite neighbors over, and we would have eclairs, and she would take me to this lovely patisserie shop to get like 3 scoops of ice cream with the sauces and sprinkles, and that was like the treat because it was a Sunday. But yeah, I think we genuinely move a lot growing up in Poland. You probably did too if you're a similar age to me, because we used to be outside and play, not inside the house in front of the devices, because we didn't have them, right? So that's obviously different as well. I'm also comparing stuff like at school. I think we've had about 7 to 8 hours of PE every week throughout my school life. So that's actually quite a lot of exercise if you think about it, right? So obviously we were able to just eat whatever. It was fine. It was fine to have chips at home 3 times a week, deep fried in oil, you know, stuff made in lard, and everyone was fine. Obviously the times have changed. But the actual thing I wanted to talk to you about is that every time I wanted to lose weight, I would come up with a new fantastic diet. Something like, I would research online how to lose 10 kilos in 14 days. You know, magic pills and them kind of stories. Every time I tried to go on these diets, I would probably last, I don't know, a week, maybe 2, and then put all the weight back on. So that's what used to happen. And one of these diets was called, I think, Duken diet. I'm not sure. I think it's like a Scandinavian thing. But the whole idea behind this diet was that you don't eat anything that has more than 3% of fat. So anything that you eat is less than 3% of fat, and you eat essentially 0 carbs whatsoever. So in the morning, because I needed to have bread, I used to just make this kind of microwave bread, which was made out of something like cottage cheese. So that was back then. So I'm talking like, I don't know, 15 years ago, something like that, that I would just make it in microwave, and it tasted horrible. And then I would eat some more cottage cheese with it. And I remember that after 10 days of being on this diet, which was a horrible thing, literally, you know, lettuce, chicken breast, cottage cheese, that was pretty much my menu. I think I've lost something like 11 kilos, which would be what, about 20, I don't know, 24 pounds, something like that, in like 10 days. I'm not even joking, I did. But I didn't last any longer than 10 days. So after 10 days, that was it. I was off the diet, and I very, very, very quickly put all that weight back on. And I think I've even put on more just after finishing this diet. I've obviously joined the gym at least 100 different times. I would go for like 2-3 days religiously for like 2-3 hours a day, and then just stop, and then go like once a week, and then maybe in 2 weeks, and then I would just completely stop and keep paying for that membership for months before I decided to cancel the membership. So yeah, it was always like that. A ton of motivation, something's working, and then I just stop and crash. Then I've joined Slimming World. even before Slimming World, I've done Weight Watchers, and I think I've lasted in Weight Watchers maybe 3 weeks, because I've decided that after 3 weeks that I'm just having frozen meals of Weight Watchers and frozen dessert of Weight Watchers, because I can't be bothered counting, calculating. It was just too much hassle. People were getting results, but I don't know, I just wasn't into it. Then I think I just stopped for some time, 2 or 3 years. I was like, I think I was trying like not have sweets for some time, not have takeaways. So it's like kind of going somewhere, but it wasn't really working, and I kept putting on weight during those years. And then I've moved to Hertford, in Hertfordshire, and I was walking from Tesco home, and on my way back home, literally like 2 minutes away from my house, I saw this advert about Slimming World. And I started reading like weight loss group, and I googled it. I called the consultant and I said that I would like to come in and see what it's like. And then I walked into this room with about 60 people, and everyone was having a drink, having a chat. It was super friendly. And I didn't know that concept at all. I've never heard about anything like that. I don't know, in Poland, there was no such thing. So that got me really interested, and I joined the group, and I used to have a weigh-in on a Thursday, and I started like posting the food on our Facebook group, and people started commenting, and it was just super, super exciting times. So that got me really motivated, and I think I kept going for about 8 weeks, like consistently losing like 3, 4, 5 pounds every week. I was doing absolutely fabulous. And then I think on the 8th week, I gained. I had a small gain, and I had no idea why. And that put me off so badly that I didn't just go back in. So I stopped for another 2 or 3 years. Moved to Peterborough, Cambridgeshire, as if people don't know in the UK. I moved to Peterborough. I've decided to join another Slimming World group, and then I felt like I am in a proper competition, because that group was amazing. People were losing loads of weight. The consultant was absolutely, I don't know, just really, really motivating. And again, people liked my food, and I was excited. I was losing weight again. But then I started like, I think I came to a moment where I've had like maintains for quite a few weeks, and I was extremely demotivated, but I didn't want to stop. So I kept looking for ways to push that weight a little, you know. And then I remembered that once when I was watching some kind of program about boxing, they've mentioned something called weight cutting. So that got me really interested. Because, as you know, boxers, before the fight, they need to be at a certain weight. And in order to do that, they sometimes need to do certain things to be at this particular weight just before the fight. So, from what I found out at the time, weight cutting was about basically dehydrating yourself in a way. Well, now I know that, but at the time I've read that if you use Epsom salt or I don't know, sea salt, but genuinely they usually use Epsom salt in your bath, you will start sweating during the bath. So you're doing like hot bath, add the Epsom salt, and the instructions are usually on the Epsom salt that you put like a cup or two in the whole big bathtub. That's it, yeah? Then you spend about 20 minutes in the bathtub, you come out. Now, boxers, when they do that, they actually do it for about half an hour at a time. They put a bit more salt than a cup. They come out, they stay in those hot suits, steamy suits, whatever you want to call it, sweaty suits. So they continue sweating under them. They take a break for about half an hour in that suit and they come back to the water. Now, the actual way they do it is 2-3 days before the fight, they would drink loads of water. So you like overhydrating yourself. You're drinking loads of water, you filtering your body, you detoxing, yeah? So you are actually having loads and loads of water 2 or 3 days before that. Then they have a cut-off time when they stop drinking water. So let's just say tomorrow is your fight at about 8 o'clock in the morning, and about 7 o'clock in the evening, you stop your water. Then after that, they do in those baths. And they have some amazing results, like kilos and kilos of weight coming off in one night. Now, I've decided back then, when I was going to that competitive slimming world group, that I'm going to try weight cutting, because obviously I'm a boxer and I need to be a certain weight for a fight. Don't even get me started. Please don't do that. Don't do that without medical assistance. Boxers do that with medical assistance. You shouldn't do that at home. And I advise you not to do that, because there could be severe consequences to it, which I know now. But when I used to do that, the first time I have done one bath session and I did not put a cup of salt. I've literally put entire 2 kilos or 1 kilo of that Epsom salt in my bathtub, and I've made the water extremely hot. It wasn't normal temperature. I just made it extremely hot, and I was struggling to get inside that bathtub, but once I've done it, it was okay. And I've stayed in that bathtub, I don't know, for about half an hour, and I felt like I've done the biggest workout ever. Literally, I sat in that bathtub, I think I've watched a movie or something, and yeah, I really felt it. The next day, I've lost, I think, something like 4 pounds that week, literally just from doing that. Now, that weight came back on, I don't know, probably by that evening. Like, weight cutting doesn't work like, oh, you've lost weight, you've lost fat, no, you literally just lost water weight. That is it. That is all it is. But because I have lost that weight and gave me, I don't know, Slimmer of the Week or whatever award I wanted to get, because obviously it was so important to me, I continued with this water cutting thing. So following that, I had pretty bad weeks in terms of food. I was not eating healthy. I was eating crap food, and then just putting all my faith into weight cutting, which was stupid. I know now. But don't get me wrong, there are bath in Epsom salt is actually a healthy thing. It's a good thing when you're exercising, it's relaxing muscles, all that. But the way I was doing it was not good and not healthy, and I know that now. So, to continue, my worst time ever, I was at home alone, and I've decided that night that I had, I don't know, I wanted to lose something like 8 pounds. I literally decided I want to lose 8 pounds. So I bought, I don't know, 10, 15 kilo bags of Epsom salt, prepared my bathtub, prepared my movies on the iPad. I got in the bathtub, spent there 45 minutes, stayed like wrapped in a towel, took half an hour break, got back in with another salt. And I think I continued doing that for about 4 or 5 times during that night. I have altogether lost 7 kilos during that night just by doing those baths. 7 kilos is what? 7 kilos is something like 14 pounds. So I have lost 14 pounds during one night. Can you even imagine? 14 pounds, like a stone of just pure water, completely dehydrating myself. And I remember what I felt when I came out of that bathtub. I remember that I kept my phone next to me because I thought I might need to call for help or an ambulance or something. My heart was pounding. I felt like my pulse is 250. I felt like I can't breathe. I felt super hot, super weak, and I just kept lying down. I remember I kept lying down on the carpet in my bedroom without towel, without anything, just bare naked on the floor, and just trying to breathe and drink water. I was drinking water. I remember I had like a big bottle of cold water next to me, and I probably lied there for about 2 or 3 hours. I just kept lying there till the time I was able to walk again. But it was possibly one of the scariest moments of my life. I won't forget that, and I will never do that again. It was the most stupid idea I've ever had. And I remember going to Slimming Well that day when I've lost all that weight. And I think I tried to wear like the heaviest clothes I had, you know, like the thickest jeans, thickest socks that I could wear, and like a jumper, just so I don't actually weigh as little as I did at the time. And I've lost, I don't know, during that weigh-in, something like 8 pounds. And everyone, you know, was clapping and all this. And I didn't smile. I felt so horrible about myself. I felt so shit about this. And I just wanted to cry and get out of there. Because I just felt like I've cheated, yeah? But cheated in a really horrible for myself way. So I will never forget that, and I will never do that again. And please do not try those things, because it doesn't really help. What's the point that you're gonna be lighter for one day? But yeah, it's just, I think about realizing that it's not just about the number on the scale, that it's about your health that you gain in with Slimming World, that if you treat it like a competition like I did that time, then it's really unhealthy thing to do for your mental health, for your general health. So yeah, now I'm happy with like 1 pound losses too. Not proud of it, obviously, but I've done that, so you don't have to ever try it. Anyway, no point losing weight for a few hours, is it? Yeah. I was going to talk about all of the things in my life that I've done to lose weight, all of the unhealthy ways to lose weight, but I think this one was quite big, yeah? I feel like I've overshared. Have you had any experiences like that? Did you try anything unhealthy and quick to lose weight? Let me know in the comments. I'll see you guys tomorrow.